Chapter 1826, Dragon Palace's Tez. Above the blue ocean surface, waves were rumbling. With the ebb and flow of tides, seagulls were flying above in the sky. Plop, with a soft sound, a goo immortal dived into the water, swimming deeper to 1,000 feet, 10,000 feet, 100,000 feet. The sea was extremely deep. There was a large number of fierce sea beasts living here. After reaching 1,000,000 feet deep, immemorial-level sea beasts started to appear, and of course, there were precious treasures here as well. Eastern Sea is truly the #1 in the 5 regions in terms of resources. The goo immortal sighed as he continued to dive deeper. After reaching 10,000,000 feet, in the abyss-like darkness of the sea, there was a beautiful and colorful dream realm. As the goo immortal got closer, the dream realm expanded within his vision. By the time he arrived, this dream realm resembled a small mountain. Dragon Palace should be here. The goo immortal had a heated gaze that he was muscular and handsome. He had a tall nose bridge and sharp lips. He had golden dragon scales on his body. He had a pair of dragon eyes resembling topaz. There was also a pair of golden coral-like dragon horns on his head. This was Fang Yuan's Dragon Man clone. Fang Yuan knew that Dragon Palace was hidden in Eastern Sea, but he did not find out where exactly it was in the previous life. Back then, Duke Long had brought Feng Huang to try and subdue Dragon Palace. They were obstructed by the 4 dragon generals. Thus, a battle ensued and Dragon Palace took the chance to fly into the sky, escaping from him. Even though Duke Long chased after it, the huge commotion caused Eastern Sea's rank 8 goo immortals to approach him. When news of this spread throughout the 5 regions, Fang Yuan had just reached a certain stage in his plan against Beast Calamity Grotto Heaven. He was also moved and decided to head to Eastern Sea. Eventually, he was discovered and did not gain anything. And in the River of Time, the second stone Lotus Island appeared. Fang Yuan made his decision to abandon Dragon Palace and went after the Red Lotus True Inheritance in the second stone Lotus Island. However, even though he stopped Heavenly Court's plans, Feng Jiugu summoned the winds of assimilation and destroyed the stone Lotus Island. This caused Heavenly Court to obtain Dragon Palace, suppressing it within Hidden Dragon Cave. Eastern Sea's goo immortals were unwilling to give up. They went to cause a huge battle with Central Continent. The battle in Hidden Dragon Cave. After rebirth, Fang Yuan already included Dragon Palace in his plans. He had started planning long ago. He collected information and made deductions on this, drawing a circle around its possible area. After that, he sent subordinates to explore and investigate Eastern Sea secretly. Fang Yuan did not know where Dragon Palace was initially, but his hard work was not in vain. His efforts paid off. He found out the location of Dragon Palace recently. The Dragon Man clones searched around the area. He did not find any immemorial desolate beasts around. It was a safe zone. Immortal killer move. Pure dream reality seeker transformation. He acted quickly, using a killer move against this dream realm. His choice was the same as Duke Long's. He wanted to isolate the dream realm and target immortal Goo House Dragon Palace directly. And above the sky of this sea area, Fang Yuan's main body was hidden among the clouds. He was inspecting the area around him and guarding the Dragon Man clone. On the other hand, he was also getting the Dragon Man clone to probe the area. If any accidents happen, Fang Yuan's main body would be able to rapidly escape to safety. After all, Fang Yuan did not know the clear details regarding Dragon Palace. This was not like his plans in the River of Time and Tao Zhu's True Inheritance where he had sufficient information. What if Heavenly Court ambushed him? Even if they did not, Dragon Palace itself was very dangerous. Because it had an offensive Dream Path killer move, Fang Yuan was quite wary against it. As pure dream reality seeker physique bodies were created one by one. The Dragon Man clone's progress remained quite successful. But this dream realm was too huge. At this rate, he would need several days and nights to completely transform it. Ignoring anything else, just the dream realm itself is a huge fortune. In the previous life, Heavenly Court obtained it. They had no way of using it. But in my hands, it is different. Fang Yuan's main body had a clear view of the situation in the sea. Next, he looked above himself. After using luck path methods, he saw the cooking luck pot that was above his head. This pot was floating above it. It moved up and down slightly, like it was floating on water. Fang Yuan could not check his own luck. But he could check the Dragon Man clone's luck. He saw that beside cooking luck pot, the purple dragon that was the Dragon Man clone's luck coiled around in the air motionlessly. It opened its mouth and had an anxious expression. It was looking around alertly. Around it, black traces of chi were gathering into a lump, forming many black clouds. This black cloud luck shows a premonition of death. It seems that the Dragon Man clone is in danger of dying. Fang Yuan frowned. He immediately made his calculations. After using rebirth, looking at the time, I have found Dragon Palace much earlier than Heavenly Court in the previous life. I acted in advance. I should be ahead of them looking at the situation, but time is moving quickly. A bad change is about to occur in a few days. In just this time, the black clouds became thicker as they surrounded the purple dragon in all directions, trying to bury and suffocate it. Fang Yuan immediately used cooking luck pot. The dragons on cooking luck pot became active as they started to devour the black clouds and spit them out into the pot. The pot started to cook the luck, boiling all of the black cloud luck into a beneficial luck instead. The luck then got devoured by the pot dragons before being sent to the purple dragon. The purple dragon received such help. It became energetic and invigorated. Even though the black clouds were still thick and overwhelming, the purple dragon no longer looked so weak against them. Fang Yuan saw this as he gasped lightly, thinking, "My cooking luck pot is only rank 6, but it is the epitome of giant sun self-luck true inheritance. It can control the luck of rank 6 Gu immortals and even influence rank 7 Gu immortals. Right now, my Dragon Man clone is already a rank 7 after immense nurturing. Thus, it can only affect the purple dragon. But this black cloud luck..." Fang Yuan frowned lightly, pondering. "This black cloud luck was influenced by me, but the effect is mild. This is a rank 8 level crisis." However, looking at the purple dragon's reaction, it seems to have some form of attraction to this black cloud luck. Dragons, 1, like wind and rain. While this black luck has a cloud shape, it seems that this is not only a dangerous situation for the Dragon Man clone, it is also an immense fortuitous encounter. Of course, this was all built on the foundation that Fang Yuan was not going to take action. Once Fang Yuan's main body acts, the luck would change intensely. Because Fang Yuan was not an ordinary rank 8 Gu immortal, his every action would cause a huge change to the situation. Sigh. It is too bad I cannot inspect my own luck. The self-luck true inheritance has the killer move luck inspection from rank 1 to 9. But my luck inspection immortal Gu is only rank 6. Even if I make a killer move, the killer move would be able to inspect the luck of rank 7 Gu immortals. Fang Yuan already had cooking luck pot. He also added luck inspection immortal Gu into it as one of the cores. Thus, he did not need any killer move to inspect luck. Just by activating cooking luck pot, he could observe the Dragon Man clone's luck. Cooking luck pot is too low ranked. In the future, I need to advance all its core immortal Gu. I also need to add in all living beings' luck so that it can affect other people and objects. Fang Yuan planned. Even though he could use cooking luck pot to help his clones, they were the same entities as him. Thus, he was just helping himself. This was within the boundary of self-luck. It was not all living beings' luck. Fang Yuan sensed the crisis that Dragon Man clone was going to face, but he chose not to act. He controlled the situation while activating cooking luck pot. Even though it was not very helpful to the purple dragon, his influence on the black cloud luck was small, but any bit of help counts. As it accumulates, the amount would be quite significant. After all, it was better than nothing. The Dragon Man clone also received the main body's information as it continued to transform the dream realm. After a day and half a night, for Eastern Sea Gu immortals arrived from different directions. The East one was a white-robed young-looking man with a handsome face. It was Yang Zihe. The West one was an old woman with a hunched back. She had deep wrinkles on her face that resembled the pattern of a purple venomous snake, extending from her face to her arms and to her whole body. It was Granny Rome. The North one was a muscular Gu immortal with triangular eyes shining in cold light. It was Shi Miao. The South Gu immortal wore a black robe. His face could not be seen. He was silent like an eerie ghost, filled with dark energy. This was Zhang Yin. For rank 8 Gu immortals came? It is them. Fang Yuan's main body did not move. because he sensed something strange from the Dragon Man clone's luck. Right now, the purple dragon luck was surrounded by a huge and thick layer of black clouds. It could not break out, but this black cloud luck was transforming slightly. There was water sounds from the east, resembling a river. From the west, there was the silhouette of a purple venomous snake. From the north, there was a mountain shape, and at the south, the cloud was dark like an abyss, forming a black hole. These 4 rank 8 Gu immortals are not normal. Their lucks are all a part of the black cloud. Are they in an alliance? Fang Yuan did not know about the 4 dragon generals of Dragon Palace, because there was no information about them in his previous life. But soon, he found out. These 4 rank 8 Gu immortals arrived before Dragon Man clone. Their cold expressions relaxed a little. He is a Dragon Man indeed. You have rank 7 cultivation level. You are qualified to participate in the test. These dream realms are your test. If you pass it, you will gain the acknowledgement of the dragon spirit and become the owner of Dragon Palace. Quickly return the dream realms. Undergo the test by exploring the dream realms. Otherwise, we, the 4 dragon generals, will make sure you regret ever coming here. The 4 Eastern Sea rank 8 Gu immortals spoke one after another. While they spoke, they also revealed their Dragon Man identities to At once, be it Fang Yuan or his clone. They were both shocked. 1. Chinese dragons have the power to summon wind and rain. Chapter 1827. Controlling Ants in Dream. The Dragon Man clone's action of transforming the dream realms drew the attention of the 4 dragon generals. If he was a human Gu immortal, the 4 dragon generals would attack him together. But Fang Yuan's Dragon Man clone was a genuine Dragon Man. Be it body or soul, he was the real deal without any flaws. Thus, the 4 dragon generals exposed their identities. Fang Yuan gasped upon hearing this secret. In the previous life, he had only seen by Ningbing-controlled Dragon Palace and Dizongsheng. To participate in the final battle at the crucial moment, he did not see the 4 dragon generals. So these 4 rank 8 Gu immortals are servants of Dragon Palace. They were subdued by Dragon Palace and made into dragon generals. This is quite a deep scheme. Should I take action personally? Fang Yuan had countless thoughts as he quickly deduced. With his current strength, he had a high chance of dealing with all 4 rank 8 Gu immortals at the same time. Fang Yuan's strongest methods were Qi Path now. Just the number of Qi Path Dao marks alone were far beyond any of these 4 Eastern Sea rank 8s. But they are still rank 8 Gu immortals. Even though I can win and even kill them, there would be a huge commotion. I cannot gain victory quickly. Looking at the fight between Duke Long and these 4, Immortal Gu House Dragon Palace also can act on its own. It is able to fly and escape. If I try to fight them forcefully, it might not end up well. I will be in the same state as Duke Long in the previous life. Fang Yuan immediately deduced the most likely outcome. He had come here to take Dragon Palace in secret. If he caused a huge commotion and exposed his rank 8 cultivation level, as well as his Qi Path battle strength, it would not sit well with his other plans. Fang Yuan thought of this as he looked at the cooking luck pot above him. The purple dragon was completely submerged by the black clouds, but it was excitedly grinding its teeth, waiting to take action, especially when there was a trace of azure purple, 1, Qi vaguely inside this black cloud. These traces of azure purple luck are extremely noble and profound. It shows that the Dragon Man clone has a chance of becoming the owner of Dragon Palace. The Dragon Man clone only has rank 7 cultivation level, while the 4 generals are rank 8. They did not discover my presence, so it is unlikely they are lying to me. If the Dragon Man clone follows the rules and explores the dream realms, after passing, I will obtain Dragon Palace as well as these 4 rank 8 Gu immortal subordinates. It seems that Dragon Palace is truly an enslavement path immortal Gu house. It can enslave 4 rank 8 battle strength experts at once. Truly amazing. According to the information of my previous life, I still have a lot of time. Thinking so, Fang Yuan's main body decided to wait and let the clone explore the dream realms, participating in the test. This was the most beneficial method. The Dragon Man clone was secretly informed by the main body to return the dream realms. This action made the 4 dragon generals show more amicable expressions. Granny Rong said, to participate in the Dragon Palace test, your soul and body needs to enter the dream realms. You need to have the courage to risk everything in order to become the Dragon Palace Lord. The Dragon Man clone's expression changed mildly, but considering that the main body was watching and guarding him from the sky, he nodded his head and entered the dream realms. Once he entered the dream, he immediately landed in an area of deep darkness. Wu Shuai, wake up, wake up. A person beside the Dragon Man clone nudged him. The Dragon Man clone opened his eyes, seeing a young dragon girl. She was innocent and cute, showing a look of helplessness. Why are you still sleeping? Everyone is waiting for you. Don't forget that today is the day we arranged the battle with stakes against Chen Fu and Zhang Xuan. So my name is Wu Shuai. I have rank 3 Gu Master Cultivation level. The Dragon Man clone quickly inspected his own body condition. Quickly, let's go. The dragon girl could not wait. Seeing that Fang Yuan opened his eyes, she quickly dragged him along. They sprinted until they finally arrived at the school field. Two groups of people were already gathered in the school field. They were separated into the East and West group, facing each other with a clear line in between. The West group consisted of young humans, both male and female. Their leaders carried the arrogance of human youngsters. The East group were young dragon men. They were fewer in numbers and had no leader now. They were currently being pressured by the humans. Seeing that Fang Yuan was here, the Dragon Man youngsters became very excited. Some were cheering while others chided him for being late. Wu Shuai, you finally showed up. I thought you were too scared and did not dare to come. Over at the human side, one of the 2 youngster leaders shouted. The dragon girl that brought Fang Yuan over immediately retorted. Don't be arrogant, Chen Fu. Now that Wu Shuai is here, he will beat you all to a pulp. Cut the crap, Wu Shuai, let's fight. This time, I will make sure I repay you for the humiliation of losing last time. The other youngster Gu Master, Zhang Xuan, stood up. He was clearly impatient. He wanted to fight straight away. Wait. Fang Yuan stretched out his hand, stalling for time. Since this is a battle with stakes, where is the bet? He said as he assessed the school. This school field was not simple at all. It was covered by an immortal formation. This meant that Fang Yuan was not in an ordinary place. Since there was an immortal formation here, this was likely a super force. Furthermore, Fang Yuan was currently at an important place in this super force's territory. Creating an immortal formation at a school field meant that it was of great importance. Looking at the clothing of both parties, which was very alike, this was clearly a sect. This wager is clearly the impulse of youths. These youngsters have at least rank 2 cultivation level. Looking at them, they must have only started recently. Their talent is really high. I have the highest cultivation level, along with the 2 human leaders, Zhang Xuan and Chen Fu. They also have rank 3 cultivation level. We are all young geniuses. Below that is this dragon girl beside me. She has rank 2 peak cultivation level. Wu Shuai, don't look down on me. I have already brought the betting item. Look. Chen Fu said as he carefully took out a goo worm from his pocket. Fang Yuan took a glance. It was a rank 5 goo, called Commanding Leader Goo. Commanding Leader Goo looked like a longhorn beetle. The longhorn beetle had a long and cylindrical body. Its back was slightly flat, and there were 2 long feelers on its head. This Commanding Leader Goo was similar. Its body had a jade-like texture. Its feelers were very long, more than 10 times its body length. They were like 2 long red ropes. The Dragon Man clone was slightly surprised. Fang Yuan had many immortal goo. He did not care much about mortal goo. But this Commanding Leader Goo was different. It was a mortal goo, but it was a human path goo worm with enslavement path effect. It had once gained huge fame in history, but quickly went extinct. According to rumors, Commanding Leader Goo had a great effect. It was also compatible with many types of goo worms. Fang Yuan's Dragon Man clone shared the same attainment level as his main body. Fang Yuan had Human Path Grandmaster and Enslavement Path Master attainment levels. The Dragon Man clone was the same .At Master attainment level. One could generate intuition regarding the path. Right now, the Dragon Man clone had a clear intuition. As long as I pass this scene, I will get the recipe of Commanding Leader Goo. No wonder my purple dragon luck wanted to try it. This enslavement path dream realm is a huge fortuitous encounter after all. Thinking of this, the Dragon Man clone became even more excited. While he was on the way, he had already checked what goo worms Wu Shuai had. He had already prepared some methods that he could use for how the battle worked. He did not know. Immediately, Fang Yuan smiled as he said, "In that case, let's do it. In fact, I will give you the first move." Zhang Shuang heard this as rage appeared on his youthful face. "Good. Wu Shuai, you are so arrogant. How dare you look down on me? I will show you." He took out 10 or so primeval stones and scattered them around the school field. The school field itself was an immortal formation. After the primeval stones landed on it, they got devoured by the ground like rocks falling into water. Next, ants started to dig their way out of the ground. Zhang Shuang stared widely as he used his method to manipulate these ants. The Dragon Man clone was shocked. These are not ordinary ants. They have some natural markings on their body that resemble human language. Characters. Is this the legendary army ant? Dragon Man was not a natural variant human race. It was man-made. The army ants and the Dragon Man were quite similar. They were not produced by nature, but created by Gu immortal great experts. This type of army ant was used by enslavement path Gu masters. They were able to resolve the feeding problem to a large degree that a small number of army ants could be used for daily training, while a large group of army ants could form an ant tide with colossal power. Zhang Shuang had good strength. He quickly enslaved 10 or so yellow ants this time. New ants came out of the ground. They were slightly larger than the ants before, being black in color. Zhang Shuang was overjoyed and quickly focused his attention on refining these black ants. The yellow ants had this word naturally carved on them. Worker. The black ants had this word naturally carved on them. Soldier. Seeing this, the Dragon Man youths became anxious while the Dragon Girl beside Fang Yuan shook his shoulders. "Brother Wu Shuai, start quickly. If we lose this duel, you will lose your vital Gu. The other party is shameless. He already has more than 10 worker ants and 3 soldier ants." "All right." Fang Yuan smiled. He sat on the ground and focused his attention on these ants. He activated a killer move. It used sight to enslave ants. The effect was incredible. After a few breaths, dozens of ants on the ground gathered by Fang Yuan's side. Among them were worker ants and soldier ants. This result quickly overtook Zhang Shuang. The human youths shouted in shock, while the Dragon Man youths were stunned before cheering loudly and excitedly. Zhang Shuang looked at Fang Yuan in disbelief, seeing that Fang Yuan's ants were multiplying in number rapidly, many times his own. His face turned pale as paper. "I lost." Zhang Shuang was straightforward. "But what killer move is this?" The killer move was very powerful and profound, and even more importantly, Fang Yuan's soul foundation was very deep, far greater than mortal Gu masters, not to mention this youngster. Fang Yuan did not know the name of the move he had just created casually. He avoided it. "Since you lost, where is the bet?" Zhang Shuang snorted coldly, placing commanding leader Gu in Fang Yuan's hands as he turned around and left. Chen Fu had an ashen expression as he left his parting words before going. "Wu Shuai, to think that you are so devious, secretly learning a powerful enslavement path killer move. Don't be too smug. We will definitely challenge you in this again." "Yay, we won. Wu Shuai, you are amazing." As expected of Wu Shuai. Haha, they were so funny. Zhang Shuang and Chen Fu had ugly expressions earlier. Fang Yuan smiled. He was about to respond to the youths here when he suddenly saw their expressions freezing. They all looked behind Fang Yuan with stiff expressions. "Father," they called out quietly. Fang Yuan turned around and saw a Dragon Man Gu immortal staring at him with a deep and dark gaze. Fang Yuan was shocked. "Duke Long?" 1. Ancient high-ranking officials have ribbons/sashes/belts of this color. Thus it signifies royalty and high status. Chapter 1828. Talk between father and son. Observing closely, the Dragon Man clone realized. Even though it was a Dragon Man Gu immortal who appeared in front of him, it was not Duke Long. They only looked similar. Even so, this person likely has a close relationship with Duke Long. I wonder if this person is the father of my character in the dream realm? Fang Yuan was thinking when the Dragon Man Gu immortal arrived. "Wu Shuai, you are too daring. I told you so many times to not create trouble, don't provoke them. But you actually won against them again. Do you know that Zhang Shuang and Chen Fu are bloodline descendants of supreme elders of our sect?" The Dragon Man Gu immortal that resembled Duke Long had a stern expression. His eyes were almost spewing fire. The young dragon men who were still cheering earlier became silent. They did not dare to say anything. They looked down at their feet. This showed how high this person's status was in their hearts. He was normally strict on them. Fang Yuan was not sure of his relationship with this Dragon Man Gu Immortal. He had to mimic these youngsters and keep silent. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal got more furious as he knocked on the back of Fang Yuan's head with his palm. The force almost pushed him to the ground. Fang Yuan stumbled forward for a step, but regained his balance quickly. Wu Shuai, follow me. Come to the study room for your punishment. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal snorted coldly, turning around and leaving. Fang Yuan took a glance at these Dragon Man youngsters. They all looked at Fang Yuan with sympathy, guilt, and schadenfreude. It seems that I can only follow this Dragon Man Gu Immortal. Fang Yuan thought as he quickly followed after the Gu Immortal. After a few steps, the surrounding world changed rapidly. The next moment, Fang Yuan found himself in a study room. The study room was huge. There were beautiful flower vases here. The study table was about 10 feet long. There was ink and paper on it. At the center, there was calligraphy of 3 words, Long Xing Tian. Is this Dragon Man Gu Immortal's name Long Xing Tian? No, there is still some space at the end for one final word. Fang Yuan had a thought. Right at this moment, he heard a stern shout beside him. Unfilial son, kneel down right now. Fang Yuan raised his head and saw that the Dragon Man Gu Immortal was standing behind the desk, staring at him with a cold and strict expression. Fang Yuan rolled his eyes internally as he thought. You should have said that earlier. I would be able to confirm your identity. Immediately, he knelt down without hesitation with a loud sound. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal was stunned for a moment before smiling coldly. Your attitude has really improved this time in apologizing, huh? Father, your words are reasonable. I was too young and ignorant. I did not know your intentions. Please forgive me. Fang Yuan immediately gave a perfunctory speech but had a vivid expression that made people feel a sense of sincerity. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal was stunned again before his smile became even colder. Humph. Acting obedient while having other intentions, you dare to lie to me. You deserve a beating. Saying so, he took the paperweight on the table and used it to whack Fang Yuan. The paperweight was made of metal. It was long and hard, thick and heavy. It was originally used to hold down the paper and straighten it. The paper on the desk was about the size of a door plaque. One could imagine how big the paperweight was. This paperweight hit Fang Yuan's back. It caused intense pain. His soul foundation fell by a huge amount. But Fang Yuan could not resist. In this dream realm, he was not the Dragon Man Gu Immortal's match. But Fang Yuan was very crafty. He fell to the ground as he got hit. His forehead landed on the ground and created a dull sound. He grunted as he knelt and straightened his back. He gritted his teeth and endured the pain, but showed a look of desperately holding back the pain. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal was the father of this person after all. Seeing this, he had a thought. Did I hit him with excessive force earlier? Sigh. He sighed deeply, sitting down on his chair. Looking at his kneeling son across the table, he said with deep emotions, Wu Shuai, you are my most outstanding son. Your enslavement path talent is rarely seen in 100 years. I spent so much effort to nurture and teach you. I want you to succeed in life. But you went ahead and forgot all of my teachings. How many times have I told you to not argue with those people? You are a genius. You have superior insight than the people of your age. I've already described the current situation to you. The higher-ups of the sect are increasingly unhappy with our Dragon Man race, which is getting stronger. Even though I am a supreme elder that has seemingly great status, I am pushed aside by them. Even though you defeated Chen Fu and Zhang Shuang, you also infuriated the Gu Immortals behind them. These human Gu Immortals will not show me any good attitude. They will become even stricter against the Dragon Man race. Even though you won this time, you harmed the entire Dragon Man race's benefits and intensified the sect's conflicts. You are too rash. You do not consider the consequences when you do something. I am truly disappointed in you. I am beating you for your own good. For the sake of the Dragon Man race and the peace of the sect, do you understand my intentions? Fang Yuan wanted to reply understood, but he took a look at the Dragon Man Gu Immortal's expression and his heart shook. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal might have a gentle gaze, but a cold, icy feeling was in the depths of his heart. Only someone like Fang Yuan, who was aged and experienced, could sense it clearly. Instantly, Fang Yuan became incredibly alert. He thought rapidly as all sorts of clues appeared in his mind that I in this dream realm exploration. Even though the main body was outside, his soul and body had entered the dream. He could not afford to fail once. If he failed, he would lose the qualification to become the Dragon Palace Lord. He might even die. Of course, the main body would not do nothing. But in that case, when the main body fights, he would face the same situation as Duke Long. The commotion would be huge. To obtain the greatest benefit, Fang Yuan was willing to take this risk, so he had to be very careful with every step. This question seems simple, but it might be the key to this scene. If I answer wrongly, I will fail. My analysis should not be wrong. I will go ahead with this. Thinking of this, a sharp dagger-like light flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes. That he raised his head and looked at the Dragon Man Gu Immortal. His expression changed as he smiled. I am grateful for your concern, Father. But Father, you are willing to hold back and endure it for the big picture. I do not agree with that at all. Unfilial son, you are unrepentant. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal was enraged. He stood up and grabbed the paperweight again. Fang Yuan quickly added, I know you want to beat me. Even if you beat me to death, I will not hate you at all. But Father, your action of giving in and showing subservience is not helping the big picture. You are harming the entire Dragon Man race. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal's eyes were spewing fire. He held the paperweight and pointed at Fang Yuan, shouting loudly, Such guts! You dare to accuse your father of being wrong. Good. I'll give you a chance. Tell me, how am I wrong? Fang Yuan felt even more certainty now. He said slowly, Father, must our Dragon Man race always put ourselves at a lower status than humans? We have talent and aptitude. We are born with enslavement path down marks. What do the humans have? We do not necessarily need goo worms. Our bodies alone give us great stamina, strength, and recovery. Our bodies are tough and sturdy. Our claws and teeth are sharp, while humans are weak and fragile. And in terms of lifespan, our lifespan is tens or hundreds of times of humans. As we continue to live, the humans of our age will die one by one. Even without us doing anything, they will all die of old age. We Dragon Men are born with such superiority, and even rarer is our unity. We recognize each other and trust each other. We are not like the humans who turn on each other and enjoy internal conflict. Father, everybody can see your contribution to the sect. I won this duel, but should I really have lost on purpose? On what basis do these humans look down on us? How dare they treat us so badly? We Dragon Man deserve a greater status. In fact, these normal people should rank below us Dragon Men. Insolent. You are too insolent. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal flew into a rage. He quickly walked past the table as he waved the paperweight in his hand, almost about to hit Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan suddenly stood up abruptly. He had tears in his eyes as he shouted at the Dragon Man Gu Immortal. Father, I am unresigned. I refuse to accept this. Even if you beat me to death, I will never agree to this. I will not submit. Wu Shuai. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal walked to Fang Yuan, looked down at this youngster. His bloodshot eyes were staring straight at him, but his paperweight did not hit. Fang Yuan had no fear. He looked at the Dragon Man Gu Immortal directly, as his eyes also spewed fire. It was the deep anger and hatred in his heart. Both father and son looked at each other for a while. After the Dragon Man Gu Immortal confirmed something, he threw the paperweight in his hand away. He grabbed Fang Yuan's shoulders with both hands as he shook his son, laughing loudly. Wu Shuai, you are truly my precious son. I was not wrong about you. Father? You. Fang Yuan was stunned. His expression contained suspicion and shock that seemed extremely natural. I will tell you the truth. I think the same as you. I was trying to probe you earlier. I was unable to speak the truth. There is a reason behind all this. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal sighed deeply. What do you mean? Father, do you mean that? Fang Yuan seemed to have reacted as his eyes shined with delight and surprise. It was as if he had just understood what happened but did not dare to believe it. His expression was precise and flawless, but internally he sighed in relief. This was it after all. My analysis was right. Within the sect, the conflict between the Dragon Men and humans is intensifying. We can see this from just the youngsters' conflict. That school field earlier was an important area with an immortal formation. The sect higher-ups must have sensed something. If the Dragon Mangu immortal wanted to endure it, why would he not know of it? Why would he arrive after it ended? Looking at this study room, the furniture is huge and placed in a grand fashion. This displays the Dragon Mangu immortal's huge ambition in full view. He called me Wu Shui in front of the youngster dragon men, but called me unfilial son when we got to the study room. He was saving my reputation. He wants to nurture me into his assistant, his successor. Thinking so, Fang Yuan finally understood the workings of this dream realm and the intentions of Dragon Palace in holding this test. Chapter 1829, Green Ant Recruiting Disciple. Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan's main body, which was hidden within the clouds, had a change of expression. Oh, my clone's luck transformed again. Fang Yuan took a look at the huge and dense black cloud luck beside cooking luck pot. Within the black cloud luck, for different phenomena that represented the 4 rank 8 Gu immortals defended this black cloud luck. The purple dragon luck of Fang Yuan's clone was surrounded by the black cloud luck. It was growling inside. The purple dragon was more energetic now. Traces of azure purple luck continued to be converted from the black cloud luck as it entered the dragon's body. With this boost, the purple dragon expanded in size. Its claws and teeth also became sharper. The most evident change was that this dragon was originally lying down in a circular manner, but now it stretched its body and took the initiative to attack. It started to probe the black cloud luck. From motionless to active with greater morale, it seems that my clone has made a breakthrough in the dream realm. He knows how to act now, so he has the initiative. This is a good thing. It is a pity that I cannot use luck path methods to help my clone anymore. If the Dragon Man clone went in with his soul only and his body was outside, Fang Yuan could still barely send him good luck. But now, the Dragon Man clone went inside with both body and soul, completely isolated by the dream realms. All luck path methods were kept out of range. Fang Yuan's main body was helpless too, unless he could take away some of the dream realms and expose the Dragon Man clone's body. Or in the future, when his dream path research results gets to a higher level and Fang Yuan learns how to mix luck path with dream path, he would be able to target the dream realm's concealment. The dream realm continued. Dragon Man clone analyzed the surroundings clearly and considered his options. Because of his heartfelt declaration, his father recognized him, and he passed the second scene of the dream realm. However, he needed to probe for more information. Within the study room, Fang Yuan asked, "Father, since we are on the same side, can you tell me how we can make the Dragon Man race prosper? I am sure Father has a plan. Please teach me." The Dragon Man Gu immortal smiled. "We have a plan since long ago. I will tell you the truth. Not only me, but many of our Dragon Man comrades are working together. But you cannot learn of their identities yet. This is to protect them and also yourself. The first step to any great plan is secrecy. It is easier to work in secret than acting openly." "I understand that." Fang Yuan nodded, but he asked again, "But any great plan would have a resolution, right? Our resolution is this." The Dragon Man Gu immortal smiled as he lifted his pen, writing the final word of the paper on this table, Xia. When put together with the first 3 words, it made up the phrase, 1. Dragons roam the world. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with bright light. The Dragon Man Gu immortal suddenly let out a breath. It cut the paper like a sharp blade. The Dragon Man Gu immortal took a small portion of the paper and passed it to Fang Yuan. There was only 1 word on it, Xia. The remaining, Long Xing Tian, was burned to ashes by the Dragon Man Gu immortal. He waved his sleeves and incinerated the paper. The Dragon Man Gu immortal looked at the ashes on the table as he sighed. "One day, our Dragon Man race will soar the heavens. The world will be beneath our feet. But now, humanity is incredibly strong. They are the overlords of the world. Looking at the situation, our Dragon Man race is too weak and small. We do not have any alliances with variant humans in the outside world, while we are still a subordinate force of the humans ourselves. To soar the heavens, we need to ascend first. Right now, we need to endure our position below the humans, to accumulate and gather foundation. Our Dragon Man race has just been created. Our foundation is too thin, but thankfully, because we were born from humans, our relationship to them is also the deepest. Especially in Central Continent, we have members in all 10 great ancient sections. We need to learn and accumulate our foundation to catch up to the humans. Fang Yuan continued asking, then what should I do? The dragon man Gu Immortal smiled. You are already contributing now. When you were a child, I saw your potential and purposely nurtured you to be an enslavement path Gu Master. Now that your enslavement path attainment is already decent, I have made plans for you to attend Green Anesthetic's disciple recruitment ceremony. Green Anesthetic? Fang Yuan purposely acted unaware, but his heart shook as he thought of a name. Ascetic wine couple. These two were husband and wife, a famous lone immortal great expert couple in Central Continent's history. The man was called Green Anesthetic while the woman was called Wine Fairy. The two of them were childhood friends. They were extremely close. They were originally mortals, but had their own immortal opportunities. Because of a disaster, they were forced to separate when they were still youths, but they missed each other and thought the other was dead. After becoming Gu Immortals, neither the male nor the female thought of marrying anyone. Thanks to a coincidence, they met one day and fell into disbelief and joy. It was like a dream come true. After talking to each other about their situation, the woman told the man, I remember that you enjoyed playing with mud and ants when you were a kid. The man also laughed. When we were young, your family operated a tavern. Your life was much better than mine. You went to the streets and alleys to sell the wine that you carried on a pole. I accompanied you by your side during that time. I wish we could continue that forever. Thus, the man called himself Green Anesthetic while the woman also changed her title to Wine Fairy. The two possessed great talent and morals. After becoming a couple, they lived in harmony and bliss. The dragon man Gu Immortal continued. Green Anesthetic had once lost a bet with Hong Zhun of the 10 great ancient sects. He agreed to recruit a disciple and let them inherit his legacy. The time for the agreement is now, but the 10 great ancient sects have no proper candidate, because the Gu Immortal Hong Zhun who had caused this event died from tribulation long ago. Green Anesthetic is a human great expert who is a lone cultivator. If you can become his only disciple, not only would you get to learn enslavement path methods, you would also build a relationship with the ascetic wine couple. When the Dragon Man race faces difficulty in the future, these two rank 8 great experts would be a huge help. So that's it, I understand now. Fang Yuan paused before continuing. I will work hard and become the disciple of Green Anesthetic. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal nodded. Good. The ceremony is at the start of next month. You will enter closed cultivation now as I teach and train you personally. The second scene faded away. The third scene started. High in the mountains, fog and clouds shrouded the in a bamboo forest, in front of a thatched hut on the empty land. The younger generation members of the 10 great ancient sects were standing. These were all young geniuses with great talent. They were here to fight for the position of Green Anesthetic's disciple. Fang Yuan was slightly dazed. He observed the surroundings and found himself among the youths. However, most of the human youngsters avoided him subconsciously. There were only 2 Dragon Man youngsters around him. At the center of the empty area, 2 young Gu masters were fighting. Fang Yuan recognized one of them. He thought, isn't that Zhang Shuang? Right now, Zhang Shuang was at a disadvantage. He was fighting against a girl with yellow eyebrows. She had beautiful features and shining eyes that had double pupils. Fang Yuan had just arrived in the third scene. He did not know the situation. He quickly probed. What do you guys think? The 2 Dragon Man youngsters beside him heard this. The left one with azure scales said, Wu Shuai, you are looking down on us. Even though we were eliminated and only you are left in this competition, the situation is very obvious. Zhang Shuang is going to lose in a few more exchanges of moves. The azure-scaled Dragon Man youngster was a little proud and spoke in a cold tone, but the yellow-scaled youngster had a more gentle tone as he consoled. Qing Swan, don't act like this. Victory is victory, loss is loss. Since you were defeated, why take issue? Brother Wu Shuai is not asking this to humiliate you. The azure-scaled youngster Qing Swan was indignant. He gritted his teeth. Those humans are too devious. Knowing that I am strong, they sent 3 humans to fight me in succession, causing my strength to fall greatly before that Tai Qin defeated me easily. Huang Wei, don't tell me you couldn't tell? The yellow-scaled youngster sighed. Why would I not know? We were both obstructed, but the truth is that we lacked strength. If we were like Brother Wu Shuai, So what if they tried to obstruct us? He still made it into the finals. Fang Yuan listened as he thought. The azure-scaled youngster is called Qing Xuan, while the yellow-scaled one is called Huang Wei. Meanwhile, I am already in the finals. At this time, Huang Wei said, Brother Wu Shuai, I truly admire your enslavement path attainment. But your next opponent is not simple. Tai Qin has extraordinary strength. She is on par with you. But you have already gone through many rounds of tough competition to get to this point. Meanwhile, she was basically given free passes every round to reach this stage until she met with the strong opponent Zhang Shuang. Fang Yuan understood now. The yellow-browed double-pupils girl, Tai Qin, was his next opponent. He had a heavy mood, because after some observation, he had some evaluation. This Tai Qin is an enslavement path master. She mobilizes her troops without thinking in many situations, only relying on instinct, but it still produces outstanding effects. She is a tough foe. Fang Yuan's enslavement path attainment level was only at master, that he felt a little regret now. Had he known this, his main body would have raised his enslavement path attainment level in preparation for this. But nobody could predict that such a situation would happen. I lost. After a while, Zhang Shuang had a pale expression as he cupped his fist shakily. It was an honor. The young girl Qin Qin responded with a cold expression, before her eyes turned to look at Fang Yuan fixedly. And at the final round, Fang Yuan slowly walked up. He walked past Zhang Shuang, who had a complex expression. He wanted to encourage Fang Yuan as they were from the same sect, but thinking about his Dragon Man identity, he only opened his mouth but did not speak. After resting for a while, both sides started to fight. The youngsters surrounded them as they watched the battle closely. Ants started to emerge from the ground one by one. Considering the language differences, I'll leave the words in pinyin, but this is what they mean. Chapter 1830, Battle Using Ants. Fang Yuan immediately used his full strength to enslave these ants. Tai Qin did the same. These ants were created by green anesthetic. The content of his disciple recruitment competition was obviously to test the ant manipulation abilities of the participants. After Fang Yuan controlled 38 worker ant and 6 soldier ants, he willed as they attacked Tai Qin with full force. Tai Qin had more than 30 worker ants and 5 soldier ants. She chose a different tactic to Fang Yuan. She made the worker ants build an ant nest while the soldier ants protected them. Fang Yuan's troops had a little advantage. He also acted very aggressively. The youngsters watching all gasped in shock. Tai Qin frowned, flustered. Why is this Dragon Man youngster Wu Shuai acting like a different person? He is so aggressive. She quickly mobilized her troops, diverting the worker ants from the ant nest to move out while the soldier ants defended the place, trying to prevent their hard work from getting destroyed. Soon, both sides clashed in an intense battle. To think that this would happen so early on. Wu Shuai's tactic is different from before. He is taking too huge of a risk. That's right. As long as Tai Qin defends herself from this attack, her advantage would be huge. Wu Shuai did not build any ant nest, but Tai Qin has one. Their power levels will be different. It will depend on their ant manipulation skill now. Because now is still early, just the difference of 1 or 2 ants will decide who gains victory here. Even though Wu Shuai is strong, Tai Qin also has deep foundation. They are equally matched. In my opinion, Tai Qin has a higher chance of winning. How could Wu Shuai act so rashly? However, a moment later, the temporary victor was decided. Tai Qin lost a bit more of her troops. She retreated slightly as Fang Yuan's side pressured towards her. How could this be? Wu Shuai actually won against Tai Qin? Tai Qin made a mistake. She did not. Tai Qin is performing normally, but Wu Shuai has exceeded his usual standards. Did he use any enslavement path methods, or is he at this level normally? No wonder he had the confidence to attack directly. Tai Qin had a grim expression. While retreating, Fang Yuan killed more of her ants in the process. By the time she retreated into the incomplete ant nest, she only had 12 ants left. It was a sad situation. Of course, Fang Yuan was merely in a slightly better situation. The ant nest had several routes. Tai Qin was clear about her own nest situation. She stationed troops at the crucial positions while diverting some attention to enslave more ants outside. Fang Yuan had a change of thought. He did not attack abruptly. Now that the enemy was completely trapped, they had nowhere to go. Fang Yuan was not sure about the design of this ant nest. If he attacked now, his troops would not be useful. Thus, he sent them to guard the entrances and encircled the ant nest before he used enslavement path killer moves to enslave the ants outside. Ants continued to emerge from the ground. First were worker ants, followed by soldier ants, and finally, arrow ants. Arrow ants could shoot out sharp spikes from their mouth. After shooting 3 spikes, they would be weak. They would not be able to fight even a worker ant. But even so, arrow ants were strong. A small number of them could defeat a larger army. If one had a large number of them, when they shoot together in a battle, the power would be overwhelming. Both sides will definitely compete to get these arrow ants. Indeed, if Tai Qin gets these arrow ants, she would be able to use them to kill the enemy ants guarding the entrance. That way, the troops inside can come out and counterattack. Even though Wu Shuai has the upper hand, the situation is not certain now. He can easily lose. It is a pity. If armor ants appeared instead of arrow ants, Wu Shuai would be able to use them to charge and advance into the ant nest, destroying it. The youngsters went into an endless discussion. The two sides were competing in the most popular game of the generation, ant manipulation. At the start, worker ants and soldier ants would show up, but after that, the types of ants would be random. With the emergence of these new ants, not only would the enslavement attainment of both sides be tested, the Gu Master's understanding of ants would also be evaluated, as well as their management of the overall situation. Fang Yuan and Tai Qin went all out, but he had the advantage still. The youngsters saw this and were unable to believe it. This battle area has a Gu formation. The ants closer to the competitor are easier to enslave. Tai Qin is enslaving ants near her, while Wu Shuai is doing it to ants far away from himself. How could he possibly still have the advantage? Is this Wu Shuai's real strength? How strong is he? We worked together to weaken him earlier. To think that he still had such strength left. Isn't he tired at all? If this was really Wu Shuai, he might feel tired, but Fang Yuan was not. Fang Yuan had just entered the dream realm. He was in a good condition, especially his soul. It was created as the main body's split soul. Afterwards, even though it was turned into a dragon man's soul and had not undergone soul cultivation, the foundation was still much deeper beyond ordinary people. Soul foundation directly affected enslavement path. For example, Fang Yuan's main body was unable to capture many immemorial year beasts before the Battle of Southern Borders ambush, but now he could capture more than 20 in the Battle of Arrow Ants. Tai Qin lost. The arrow ants that she had diverted attention to enslave were all wiped out. Fang Yuan not only had arrow ants, he also had worker ants and soldier ants. They cooperated with his arrow ants perfectly. Tai Qin's troops were diverted into two, making her end up in a passive situation. But thankfully, the arrow ants were not outstanding on offensive when they were in terrain like the ant nest with many tunnels and paths. Even though I gained some advantage, it is not outstanding, especially when Tai Qin has been using her worker ants to build the ant nest rapidly in this period of time. Even though Fang Yuan was acting aggressively, he was actually using the most stable method to achieve victory. Battle tactics were usually built on the foundation that one understands their enemies well. Next, as long as armor ants appear, I will be able to attack and destroy the ant nest. Even if other types of ants appear, as long as they are not the cannon ants, I will be able to obtain victory with my advantage in numbers. Fang Yuan was assured of his victory. He had a high chance of winning. The humans youngsters watching were not willing to see it happen, but they had no choice but to admit it was happening. Dragon Man Wu Shuai is going to succeed. To think that this competition would end up like this. To think that Wu Shuai concealed so much strength, he is truly formidable. Sigh. It is a pity that the great green ant ascetics enslavement path inheritance is going to a dragon man. Tai Qin had a stern expression, staring at the battle area without blinking. She also recognized that she was about to fail, but she did not want to give up. She gritted her teeth as she had an intense thought. If I lose to a dragon man like Wu Shuai, I might as well have lost to Zhang Shuang earlier. I cannot lose. I don't want to lose. At this time, clouds started to form on the battle area. They quickly condensed into lumps of green clouds that a few breaths of time later, acid rain started to fall from these green clouds. Fang Yuan's gaze turned cold while the youngsters gasped. This change did not occur on the ants, but the battle area instead. If an earthquake occurs, Tai Qin would lose without Wu Shuai doing anything. If any other change occurred, the situation would be unchanged. But this acid rain. Indeed, Tai Qin's ants are all inside the nest while Wu Shuai's troops are exposed to the acid rain's corrosion. Wu Shuai has started to build his nest. It is too late. This acid rain gave Tai Qin a chance for a comeback. Wu Shuai's advantage that was created by taking a risk is all gone. Tai Qin was aided by the acid rain and got past her state of complete disadvantage. Fang Yuan had to pull back his troops and build a nest to hide from the acid rain. After the acid rain, even though the armor ants appeared, no matter how many Fang Yuan enslaved, he still lost the best opportunity. But after a while, Fang Yuan used his deep soul foundation to suppress Tai Qin. He won a few small battles and accumulated enough advantage to force Tai Qin into a corner, edging towards defeat. A huge battle was about to start. Tai Qin gathered her remaining forces to resist stubbornly when suddenly an ant queen appeared to subdue a wild ant queen. The Gu Master needs to use enslavement path methods and also beat the ant queen with the troops until it submits. But this ant queen appeared in the middle of Tai Qin's forces. Fang Yuan immediately attacked, but no matter how large his army was, he could not break through Tai Qin's last few defensive lines. Tai Qin gave it her all and used methods that carried backlash to herself, but finally subdued the ant queen. Even though the ant queen was injured, it had a special power to allow ally ants to move faster, have higher defense, and attack more fiercely. Her overall strength increased greatly as a result. Fang Yuan's ants were not powered up. Even though he had a larger army, they were all cannon fodder. After failing to take her down for a long time, Fang Yuan chose to retreat wisely. He left behind some troops to stall Tai Qin. After the first ant queen appears, more would follow. Soon, new ant queens appeared and got captured by both sides. As such, the battle between them went into a deadlock again. As the number of ants that both sides controlled increased, more ant nests were built. The battle area became dominated by both sides as their troops fought intensely. Tai Qin had a pale expression, so did Fang Yuan. However, with his rich experience, he gradually gained the upper hand. Rumble. Right when Fang Yuan was about to deal the decisive blow, an earthquake happened as Fang Yuan faced a devastating loss. Most of his ant nests were destroyed. Even though Tai Qin faced the same situation, she had fewer nests to begin with. Her losses were smaller. Both sides were evenly matched again. The youngsters went into a commotion again. It happened again. Whenever she gets into a disadvantage, changes occur to help Tai Qin. Isn't Tai Qin's luck too good? It has happened 3 times already. Is someone cheating? How can that be? This area was set up by green anesthetic personally. If Tai Qin could cheat, she would have won already. Fang Yuan's gaze turned colder. This is trouble, he thought. According to his luck, even if he lost the connection to the main body, he would not be this unlucky. The most likely possibility is that this dream realm requires me to lose. I cannot defeat Tai Qin. Thus, whenever I am about to win, a change would occur and cause me to lose my chance of victory. Then should I hold back and just lose? In usual times, he would do this to probe the situation. But now, the Dragonman clone only had one chance. If he guessed wrong, he would be giving up this test. In that case, the Dragonman clone would be trapped in the dream realm. His main body would need to take action. The main body would fight the 4 dragon generals. He would lose control of the situation. Dragon Palace would fly away. Fang Yuan's plan would end up fruitless. What should he do?